Hey there, Johnny Bin Sports, and here it is, my mock draft. So, for this video, I wanted to have some video highlights for all the players. I'm having a problem with my video editor, so I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to use images. I hope it's okay. And for the first pick, round 1, pick 11, me personally, I wanted Micah Parsons, but I don't think Gettleman, or maybe even Coach Judge will go for all the baloney he's got going on over there, all the bullshit with him, character issues. And, the Giants have done a real good job of filling all their positions. I feel like right here they would go with Sean Slater. But from what I'm seeing around the NFL, he's very, very high on some of the NFL front offices. I just don't think he'll make it to 11. So I feel like in this situation, the Giants would reach for an edge guy. So in my round 1, pick 11, I got the Giants picking Jalen Phillips, edge rusher out of Miami. And he's 6'5", 266. Drafting Jalen at 11, it obviously is a bit of a reach. I just think his upside is well worth it. I'm telling you, this kid could mature into a top 5 pass rusher in the NFL. The 6'5" and I think he weighed in at 266. I think he could add another 10 pounds to his frame, no problem. And Jalen's get off is impressive. His first 3 steps is impressive for an edge, especially with his size, and this dude has length for days. I mean, think Jason Pierre-Paul. He holds his own against the run. He's very great, very good in the run, and he is very instinctive. He's instinctive as hell. He blew up a bunch of sweeps last year in Miami, and I think the best part of his game is like his bend. And you ain't gonna find too many players that even really just bend well, but with the kind of bend he has at his size. It's just you really don't see it. I mean, and he's a 3-down linebacker, so I believe he's a day 1 starter, and could produce quite well, right off the bat. Where I get the most excited, is for the future. With an NFL regiment and workout, in the gym and be able to focus 24/7, on his craft. This kid's gonna be an animal in the future. My only concerns is injuries. He started out UCLA and kind of had a couple of concussions back to back and retired. And I guess he just couldn't give up the football. He came back. At round 2, pick 42, I got the Giants drafting Wyatt Davis, guard out of Ohio State. He's a big boy, 6'4", 310. There's a hog molly. So I chose Wyatt Davis because he's a mauler in the run game, and he projects to be, very good, great in his zone run scheme. So it just feels like a Gettleman kind of pick, if you ask me, for size. He's athletic, and he moves left and right laterally pretty good. He does struggle to finish on some blocks, but I think he'll fix that issue in the NFL. Obviously, again, with just being in the gym, focused all your time on, your craft. And from all accounts, he's a highly intelligent kid. So I think he'll take some time to adjust, to run an outside zone, which I know that the Giants have come out and said they ultimately want to get to that point. There's just not a lot of linemen on the team that can do that at this point. It's going to take time to get there. But on the inside zone play, he'll be reliable day 1. I think he'll be a day 1 starter on the right side. So my personal favorite thing about Wyatt is just his strength. I mean, the kid's just cock strong. His hand placement is excellent. I noticed that. He did have an injury, in the national championship game. I'm not sure if that'll affect him starting, right off the bat, or if he'll miss out in training camp or any of that. But that's it. I think if they draft him, he's your day 1 starter at right guard. Round 3, pick 76. Now, I could have went a lot of directions here, but I went with Amari Rodgers, wide receiver out of Clemson. He's a smaller guy, 5'9", 211. Well, stocky. So just with the signing of Kenny Golladay, there will be cuts next season, and I believe that Sterling Shepard could be a cap casualty. So like I've said in previous videos, if Shep doesn't have a good season, or the concussions start up again, I think he'll be cut. And, if Shep ends up, going, the Giants are going to need a slot receiver. So I believe Amari Rodgers could slide right in, and handle slot duties. Amari, he's short. Like I was saying, he's stocky, wide. The kid reminds me a little bit of Victor Cruz, to be honest with you. Not quite the top end speed, but just a stop and go. And that's probably the best thing about him. He's a stop and go, stop and start kind of receiver. He's not a speedster. He's a good over the top once in a while, but he's not gonna blow the top off. He's just got that great sudden quickness, great balance. And he can break some tackles. Very good at that. I just think he also gives you a plus on certain other things. He can do screens, end arounds, kind of like how we use Shep now. So very good hands, very, very, very good hands. You don't see him drop anything very often. And last year he really improved on his deep ball. So the Giants wanted it. He could also be, a quality kick and punt returner. And a bonus thing about him is you could get him to sit and learn for a year. You don't gotta rush him on the field. And I think he could step in for Shep, and the Giants wouldn't really lose much, to be honest with you. But my favorite thing about Amari is his route running and his run after catch ability. I think he'll just be a solid NFL receiver, kind of like Sterling Shepard. So at round 4, pick 116, I got the Giants drafting Shaun Wade, cornerback out of Ohio State. He's 6'1", 194 pounds. And this guy just feels like a player the Giants would draft. I gotta be honest with you, this is the only reason I picked him. Wade struggled on the outside in Ohio State, so he's probably more suited to the slot corner. But there's talk about a move to safety, and this just kind of feels like a Julian Love type of move. And you could ask, why would the Giants go this route? With Darnay Holmes slated as slot corner and Julian Love already, pushed down a depth chart at safety. And my response is depth. If either Darnay or Julian would happen to get injured, Wade could fill either of them roles in a pinch, no problem. And one thing I noticed about Wade is he holds his own in man and zone coverage. That's a bonus. And he's done especially well matched up on tight ends. So, if you can make scheme packages for him. If you're playing a team like the 49ers, somebody's got a good tight end, you can lock him onto a tight end. That'll help you. And I'm sure Coach Graham could just, find just favorable matchups for him and, find him rolling big nickel sets or something. Of course, the Giants didn't have a 5th round pick because of the Leonard Williams trade, but we do have an extra 6th round pick from the Marcus Golden trade. So in round 6, pick 196, I got the Giants drafting Elim Mcneil, his complete true definition nose tackle out of North Carolina State. And he's 6'2", 315. I'll tell you what, he looks a lot bigger than 315. I'll say that right off the bat. With Dalvin Tomlinson gone to the Vikings, Gettleman might be looking, to add another just big body. And Elim would be, I think, a great pick. If Elim makes it to the spot, he could possibly get picked a little bit earlier. Maybe, if Gettleman's excited about this guy, he could package both the 6th round picks to move up to get him. I don't think it'll be any kind of deal like that. If he's there, he'll just take him. If not, he'll find something else. But honestly, I picked Elim Mcneil because he's pretty similar to Dalvin. Super athletic for his size. In high school, he was actually a running back and a linebacker. When he got to college, he converted to a nose tackle. And, he's been excellent. For only playing 3 years at nose tackle, he's developed nicely. Now, Elim is not a great pass rusher, so he will be a short package, early down nose tackle. But he, like I was saying, he is a true nose tackle, and he is great at moving down the line. He does not allow people to. He goes where he wants to go. I'll just put it that way when he's moving laterally. So, perfect example of Dalvin, and he's just good at getting to the running back. And this guy is tremendously strong. He's low-key good at getting his hands up and batting passes. And if you guys want to see some funny clips, go watch this dude's highlights. He bats him up and actually gets him picked off. And who doesn't like a fat man celebrating? They're worth watching. But the Giants want to keep Dexter Lawrence at the 3 tech, where he's been playing the last 2 years. And they don't feel like putting him there in a nose tackle. Here's a true nose tackle, and just seems like a possible pick to me. And I believe that Elim can develop into a starting caliber nose tackle pretty quickly. I think in spots he'd be quality nose tackle right off the bat. So the Giants' last pick, round 6, pick 201, I picked the Giants Jalen, offensive tackle out of Western Michigan. Now he's a big, long boy, 6'4", 300 pounds. At this point in the draft, it's just impossible to know what direction the Giants, would go. So I just decided to go tackle. Most teams tend to go with, developmental players with upside, at the end, and that's the route I went. So with Soldier, coming off the bench next season, most likely, there's going to be an opening for a swing tackle next year, year after next when Soldier's cut. So I just think this would be a smart move. Give Jalen Moore some time, let him learn the position. But, there's a lot of things that I like about Jalen. And he's just a long, athletic tackle, and he actually holds his own in the run game, which is a bonus. He does have a lot of work to do, if I'm going to be honest, If he wants to have any kind of a long career in the NFL, he's going to have to work his ass off. And people have questioned his motor. He kind of gives up, in the middle of the plays from time to time. And he's a bit of a leaner. We saw that with Andrew Thomas. He leaned forward and, punch, just do horrible punches. He has a tendency to do that, which is never good, especially on the NFL level. Every single pass rusher will just expose you if you do that. But like I was saying, he does have some upsides and just his frame and, his length. So, he's got his balance is kind of iffy, but if you give him a year to sit, if he can work on his balance, work on his punch, And another reason why I thought this was a good fit is because Jalen Moore he does great in zone blocking, which is a scheme that they really want to run here. So I think that he's a fit for the Giants. I think we got Soldier for this year, probably cut next. This actually gives the kid a whole year to sit, learn, and say what you want about Soldier, but he's a great guy, and I think even without knowing he's doing it, he'd help the kid and teach him a lot. And we've seen that Gettleman, he likes, them long-armed tackles. Both Pear and Thomas both had the longest arms in last draft, I believe. So this just seems like a pick that Gettleman would take, and somebody like this with this kind of upside sitting in the round 6, I think he'd probably nut in his pants. So that's it for me. I'm sorry I couldn't have video on these guys. The videos I was downloading were getting this weird little pixelated scan bar on the top of my screen. Again, my computer is old and junky, and when I get my new one, I'm sure it's going to be so nice to have video to put to these stuffs and highlights and all that. It's going to be so much fun, and it'd be better for you guys. This is it, I think the first round pick, I really love Micah Parsons. I wish that they would just suck it up and just pick Micah Parsons, because you put him on this defense they build and just... But if they did take Jalen Phillips the first round, it is a reach, but I wouldn't be able to complain. I think he's hands down has the most upside of any of the pass rushers in this draft. And if you actually go watch, if you've never seen him, go watch some of his film. And this guy is like a damn tarantula, man. His arms are so long. It seems like he's 5 yards away from the quarterback, and when he swings his arm, he's hitting the ball in their hands and shit. It's just amazing to watch. And a man like him, I'm telling you, he should not be able to bend and move like that. If he can fill his frame out and keep his speed, his explosiveness, and his bend, oh my God, he could. You think Montez Sweat is scary? This dude could be scary. I'm telling you, top five in the NFL, scary. Kind of like the guy that used to be in Carolina, Peppers. I think if he would be able to hit his top level, that's what you're looking at. Julius Peppers, I think his name was. That's what you're looking at right there, man. That kid, amazing though. Go watch his foot. There ain't much of it, unfortunately. He didn't play too much at UCLA, and then when he went to Miami, this has been his only year. And if Russo didn't opt out, this kid wouldn't even probably been on any of our radar. So. Thank you, Russo. It was a pleasure watching the kids film, to be honest with you. But that's it for me.